entering May, or you go behind, ahead? I mean, just what were your expectations for the spring compared to how it went?
Definitely behind. We've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of situational things we need to cover. 2-minute, more third down situations, end of game situations. So we're behind, you know, but we're going to work really hard this summer. Our players on their own and our coaching staff, and try to hit the ground running when training camp starts. What is that? Is that another video thing?
Yeah.
How does that work? Is that a tripod?
It is. Yeah.
Is that constant there? Is that
it's flexible. It's taking a video right now.
Got it.
It's flexible. I can put it in anywhere.
It's
Keep it stable.
I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're handy.
It's pretty cool. I gotta get one of those.
I'm serious.
Bill, I wanted to ask you what you thought of the first stop.
Great stop, good start, great turnout, and another great chance for us as coaches to get out there and meet all the alums, number one, and the fans, that all the people that support Penn State and our athletic program.
You had a few tough questions in there, like what do you predict your record's going to be this year? How did you receive?
Yeah, I don't get into those things too much. You know, again, all we really think about is the Ohio game and our summer training and our training camp, and so really, you know, I don't predict too much about the future other than really tomorrow, to be honest with you.
How many of these cities have you been to? Especially in Pennsylvania, are a lot of these places you're going to be going to for the first time?
No, I've been to Pittsburgh, obviously.
But how about like the Hazeltons and the Scrantons and maybe some of the smaller?
In recruiting, I've been to a number of places in Pennsylvania over the years. I mean, I can't list them for you, you know. But I know I've been to a number of places in Pennsylvania. But yeah, it'll be the first time in certain areas, no question about it.
I'm curious if you can expand on the situational football topic. Is it different from what they knew before, or just they need to learn more stuff? Is it a different strategy? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really get into what they knew before. I don't know. I don't ask any questions about what they knew before. I just know what I know and what our staff knows and what we try to teach these guys. So, you know, situational football, there's a long list. I mean, we could spend hours here talking about it, but basically it's different 2-minute situations. It's first down, second down, it's third down, all the different yardages that are broken up into third down. There's 4-minute situations. There's when the ball's backed up, when you have the ball inside your own 5-yard line. There's special teams situations. There's different timeout situations at the end of games, what you're going to talk about, what you're going to discuss. So there's a million situations that we'll try to cover that we've already covered many, but we've got a long way to go in the training camp to cover more.
Does the bulk of that fall on the quarterback specifically?
No, not necessarily. You have a list, you know, again, a long list of situations that fall under all different categories. It might be the middle linebacker on defense that has to be in charge of something defensively at the end of a game. Quarterback obviously plays a big role, but there's a lot of people involved, the staff, the whole team. That's one thing, you know, to know, Nate, is we try to tell the team about the situations. You know, we talk to the whole team about when this situation arises, here's how we want to handle it as a football team. So that's how you kind of approach it.
Bill, I know you probably answered this question in Philly, and I was late to get there, but Davon Smith was charged this past weekend with marijuana possession. I wondered if you had any comment on the charges or any punishment to announce or anything like that.
Again, you know, Davon was charged. You know, I learned about it Friday night, and then Davon was actually notified about it this morning. So I think Davon found out about it in the newspaper. Davon's a good kid. He's a guy that's been around for a long time, and he's a guy that I believe in. And any punishment that takes place between Davon and the football program, myself, will be between Davon and myself. We'll bring him in, and I've already spoken to him, and we'll continue to talk because, again, their charges, and he'll have to appear in court, I'm sure, at a certain date, and we'll let the process play out from there.
How much have you stressed to these guys just good behavior in general?
Sure. You know, one of the things we stress quite a bit, which I think we all stress, is when they leave our building, when they leave, you know, the Lash building, is that they're representatives of the football program, the athletic program, and the university. And so we talk about what that means all the time, you know, and that many people on campus know that they're football players and how they carry themselves and how they act on campus and how they go to class. All of that goes into being a Penn State football player.
Have you gotten feedback on things like the, you know, facial hair, jewelry, and all that kind of stuff that you've allowed them to do now?
Yeah.
From the kids themselves?
Yeah, I think that's really been a big deal about nothing, to be honest with you. It's facial hair that's kept trim. There's no lumberjacks walking around. Nothing against lumberjacks, but you know, there's no bushy beards walking around in the Lash building, and the hair is just controlled. And then as far as jewelry goes, they don't wear any jewelry in the football environment. They're allowed to wear jewelry if that's what they want to do outside of the football environment. So, you know, again, you know, I just want them to be on time. I want them to sit in the front row. I want them to pay attention. I want them to work hard. And to me, that has everything to do with being a success.
Is there anything you've done in the past that's prepared you for handling off the field issues? I mean, you've never been a head coach before. Is there anything you can do to prepare for that?
Well, you know, we're the places where I've been, especially in college, you know, Georgia Tech, I was an assistant head coach, I was a recruiting coordinator. Maryland, I filled a lot of roles at Maryland for Ralph when I was there. And so, you know, I've been involved with off the field, not issues, but I've been involved with off the field activities wherever I've been. So everything that you do as an assistant coach prepares you for being a head coach. And so, you know, again, have I done it as a head coach? Obviously not, but I think I was pretty well prepared by the guys that I worked for and my roles in those different places to handle the things that have come up.
Is that one of the most challenging things you think about being a head coach? Is that going to be one of the biggest challenges you face, just dealing with those issues?
The biggest challenge that I face is that you're in charge of everybody now. And so you have to do a great job, and you're in charge of so many different facets of the program. And so you have to do a great job of managing your time and making sure that you pay enough attention to all the little details that come across your desk every day. So that's a challenge, but every Division I head coach has that challenge. And you just have to do a great job of budgeting your time and making sure that you're on top of everything as best you can be.
How much of that do you divvy out in terms of responsibilities to the assistants and graduate assistants, all that kind of those people that you have around you?
Certain things are divvied out, but the bulk of things here at Penn State come across my desk. I do encourage the staff to take care of the so-called little problems on their own before they get to my desk. But again, I want to know what's going on, especially in the first year on the job, and that's my job to make sure I'm on top of all those things. So again, it's a 24/7 job, but it's been a lot of fun to this point, that's for sure.
Guys are taking finals this week. Do you anticipate everyone making it academically?
I'm not a genie, but I mean, you know, so far from the academic reports that I've received, that I feel good about where they are going into finals. Most of them. I'm not saying 100%. We don't have 105 Angels on the team now. We've got a bunch of good kids, but we've got some guys that have to really step it up in final exams, and hopefully they do, and we'll find out in another week or so where they stand.
Has anyone approached you yet about possible transfer situation, or
No.
do you anticipate anyone?
No.
Sometimes when there's a new
I
coach,
don't.
guys figure out maybe this isn't for them. Or
Haven't been approached, or, you know, not that any of that would ever be a shock to me, because I've been around that before. You know, guys want to go play somewhere else, but at this point, nobody's approached me about that.
Pat, could you address the thing Bill just said about being the head coach and now having to be responsible for every single thing? You know, obviously you had some experience at BU being a head coach, but
Yeah, it's
now you're at a bigger school. Is it more?
Yeah, there's no question it's more. And Coach hit it right on the head. I mean, you really have to time manage well, and you have to be organized, and you have to be detailed, and you have to have a great staff. I mean, I think we would both agree. We talked about that on the bus. You need to have a great staff that's a loyal staff that you trust. Those words today are not as common as they used to be, which is unfortunate in our business. But yeah, being in charge, you know, you're in charge of everybody. Not only yourself and your family, but your assistant's family. And, you know, you want to do well. So it's everybody down to the managers. You're overseeing. So it's important. It's critical to run a great program. And you have to communicate on a daily basis. we set up, once every 2 months, I have a company-wide meeting, just so we're all on the same page, so we're all not talking out of school. Just little things like that can help you elevate your program. We have a standard of excellence, Bill Walsh used to say, and that's what we hold not only myself to, but our staff and our players and our managers and our grad managers and our academic advisor and our SID, wherever he went. You know, there he is. So it's all very important. We're all part of something that's, you know, much, much bigger than ourselves.
Pat, being a kind of a local guy, what has today been like for you so far?
It was great. The bus route we took was right through Philly. I was telling Bill. I was
Well,
like,
you were
know,
directing the guy.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't gone that way in a long time. Down Walnut Street, you know, we went through Penn and Drexel's on your right. You got West Catholic, and it just, my assistant coach lived on 56th, and it was me. We were on 69th Street. Shar and I were talking about the Tower and all the great concerts, and it was just going back through memory lane a little bit. And but you know, we recruit in those areas too. So you know, you come back, but it's been great being down in Philly. It's been a lot of fun seeing Nittany Nation out there and coming out in full effect, and I'm excited about tonight to see a great crowd.
Bill, I know last time you were here you were being booed on the bus on the way out, but what has your been impression of the area today?
Oh, Philly's a great sports town. You know, Pat and I were talking about it, and it was, you know, he's kidding, but he was giving me a great, his own family's history of Philadelphia and growing up here, and he brought up a good point that Philly's a lot different than Boston. Boston is primarily a pro sports town, you know, Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, and in Philadelphia you have a great combination of the pro sports teams, the college teams, and the high school football or high school basketball here. It's great. So it's a neat place, and it's been great to be here for the day. It's been a long time, well, a few months since I was here before, but it's a great city.
And you've turned everybody around in your favor now?
But no, I don't think so. Probably in Philly, I'll always be associated with the Patriots and to a certain degree, but hopefully the Penn Staters see me as a Penn Stater.
Pat, I want to clarify something you said this morning. You said that he's the type of guy you have a burger with. Don't you want to have a cheesesteak with him when you're in Philly?
I was actually gonna say a beer. I was just trying to clean it up. So burger just came out, but yeah. I could show them all the hot spots for cheesesteaks. We're trying to work out. We're trying to stay in shape.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
We've been talking about staying in shape. It's very hard to find that
Yeah.
time, but there's definitely some good cheesesteak places in Philly that I could take Bill to.
Is this going to be physically demanding for you, being on the road so long? I mean, it's not easy. You're not in your own bed. You're not eating right. Are you worried about how you're going to feel on May 16th?
I don't think about that too much. This was something that we all decided to do that we felt was really important at a time when I was being hired, and to go out there and meet as many people as we could and do it as an athletic department, which I think is really important. I like I said this morning, you know, you're going to hear this a lot from me about one team and being one football team and being one athletic program, and we're all on the same team. We're not 31 different corporations, and that's going to be something that's important for me as long as I'm the head football coach here. So this whole Caravan was a good way to get that going.
Along those lines, do you look at yourself as a fundraiser for the university?
Well, my number one job coming in here the first year is to do the best I can to win football games and to make sure that our guys are going to class. But as time goes on, I definitely see myself getting involved and doing whatever I have to do to promote the university, promote the athletic department, help other coaches, help our own program. But I definitely see my role as time goes to be that. I just know that right now I've got to do everything in my power to make sure that we have a good football team and a football team of guys that go to class and graduate.
Is this something that you think you'd like to do in future years, or is this sort of a kickoff to your...
This Caravan?
Yeah.
You got to ask me in about 4 weeks.
How about you?
I'll go right with that answer. I'm only doing it a couple days, so I mean, I don't have a problem getting out there.
Bill, I don't know if you've been asked this, but have you considered or named captains, anything along those lines?
No, we'll have game captains, and then before the last regular season game, we'll elect captains.
How does that work with team captains?
We'll make sure that the seniors that are on the football team are each have a chance to be captain for a game.
Did you follow the draft at all? Or was it weird, being back on this end of it now?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was busy with a lot of things, obviously, with my job, so I didn't follow it too much. I heard it in the background and things like that, but I didn't follow it too much. I was happy to see that those Penn State guys got drafted and the guys that signed free agent contracts. I was happy for those guys. Not having known them very well, but being a Penn Stater now, I was really thrilled for those guys to have that opportunity.
Kind of to follow up on that, what does it mean when you see guys from Penn State being drafted by NFL teams, since you have the NFL experience?
Well, it's a great opportunity for those guys to go to a league that's the best of the best, and to go in there and being Penn State guys, it helps us. Selfishly, we look at it as a football program now. We've got these guys that have a chance to make these different rosters in Cincinnati and Oakland and all the different teams. So it's a win-win for everybody, for them and for us too.
Do you rely on the senior class exclusively, or do you look to players that just have strong personality, strong leadership skills? Doesn't matter, class rank. Basically.
Yeah, I definitely think that the seniors, it's their team in a certain respect because they've been here the longest. But I also know that in my time in coaching that I've seen young players and players that have played 2 or 3 years, or the players that have played obviously 12, 13 years are the leaders of the team. So there's leaders, they show up, no matter who you say is the leader of the team. If a guy comes in and he's a freshman and he shows that he can play and he's got good leadership skills, then he's going to be a leader. So I wouldn't say that I rely totally on the seniors, but again, as being the veterans of the team, they definitely have a grip on it being their team right now.
Pat, you were here in November. Bill, you came in obviously in January. Given everything that's going on around the Penn State University in the past however many months, what is the general vibe within either your individual programs or as a community athletic department?
Well, I think Coach has touched on it a few times. I mean, we're one. We're going to stick together no matter what. We're going to support one another. Obviously, we feel terrible for what happened, but I think we can be that ray of light that Penn Staters are looking for. And we got to, not that we're going to forget about what happened, but we got to start moving ahead. And I think we're all in this together.
Anything else?